Chair Cantwell for 5 minutes next.
Thank you. Mr. Davis, I want to congratulate you again on yesterday and the flight of Alice. Very exciting news in the aviation world, as you made comment to earlier. This was no small achievement, and I know that the work has been ongoing by you and many others. So again, congratulations on your efforts to decarbonize aviation and have electric planes. I wanted to follow up on your comments and maybe tie in Mr. Boland as well. When we look at essential air service and we look at some of our challenges in transportation, I understand your current plans, or the idea was originally for a 2027 date, and that is you already have commitments from Cape Air, a regional carrier, and DHL for cargo. What steps does Congress need to take to continue to look at this issue you brought up of coordination between the FAA and DOE on battery standardization?
Well, thank you very much, Chair Cantwell, and again, thank you for the kind welcome. It was a very exciting day. I'm actually here at our flight test facility, the Aerotech flight test facility in Moses Lake right now, not very far from where we flew. There are many aspects to what we're doing here with the electric aircraft that play into the broader discussion, as well as the specific infrastructure requirements. We talked about the walk, crawl, run methodology that we've generally accepted in aviation. It certainly doesn't feel like a crawl or a walk with what we're doing right now, but what we are doing is an important stepping stone to actually bringing electrified aviation to the marketplace. We are choosing the path of taking an electric conventional takeoff and landing airplane and developing that for electric propulsion and battery power. What that allows us to do is to leverage the existing airspace requirements. So we take off from an airport, we fly in airspace, and we land at an airport. It allows us to focus on the technology development. The FAA discussion we had before about aiding in the certification of batteries, making sure that we're using advanced technology as quickly and as safely as possible to enable the mission profiles that we're looking for. Those right now essential air service routes that are typically less than 250 nautical miles, or less than 300 statute miles. And then also adapting the advanced operating technology for the aircraft to allow for single pilot operations, which is again on the pathway to full autonomous operation for cargo and eventually passenger operations. With respect to the DOE and potentially DOT and FAA, what we need to do is to look at the establishment of the charging infrastructure. The good news compared to, say, the broader automotive charging infrastructure is whether it's the 2,000 airports that have had some service or are very near large urban centers, or the broader 5,000 airports. In aviation, unlike in a car you want to be able to go wherever you want to go when you want to go there. In aviation, we tend to want to take off exactly when we meant to, go exactly where we wanted to, and land exactly where we wanted to, all on schedule. So it becomes much easier, especially in the essential air service map, to develop that infrastructure. What we're looking at doing, and with those customers that you've identified, in particular with Cape Air, is building out a proof network showing that we can actually operate in a subset and then scaling it from there. And that's where certainly interaction between the FAA on the airport side and on the aircraft charging interface and the DOE in terms of overall battery technology will benefit the industry.
And what about DHL, though, when you're talking about cargo? Because obviously you're talking about a marketplace of whatever, 9 passengers or something like that. When you're talking about cargo, what is the profile there?
So thank you for that. The cargo missions are going to be very similar. So again, it's that last 100 miles of delivery. It's taking out 2 or 3 hours of delivery time for the packages that we want to see arriving. Again, though, it's going to be point to point. For the initial deployment of the aircraft, we will know where the aircraft are intended to go. I mean, we as an industry will know specifically which airports they'll be operating from, and so we need to start there and help build up the infrastructure.
Well, this, to me, seems like a game changer. When I think about some of our problems, particularly with the airlines and, even with the expansion of Payne Field, and people are happy to have, flights to Palm Springs and Hawaii and various places. I'm sure a lot of people wanted flights to Spokane. So the notion that Walla Walla, that's constantly shortchanged, very big and growing wine region of our country, but one flight a day or 2 flights a day, you could change that. And you could have people going, 5 or 6 flights a day. Now it's all economical. So you're changing the dynamics of a rural economy. And that could be a very interesting solution for driving efficiencies into the marketplace.
Yes, thank you for that. So certainly with the aircraft that we're developing and this being the first entrant into the sector, you will immediately be able to actually produce less emissions on that same duration of trip than you would in a car. There's literally no tailpipe on the aircraft. So the emissions that we produce are during the production of the aircraft and from the power that's derived from the energy grid wherever you're operating the aircraft. There's plenty of opportunity to make that better. One of the and I thank you very much for your words about changing the industry, changing the world. It's exactly how we see it. It's a very easy game to play, to think, where are you right now? And could you find 9 people or 8 other people who wanted to go, 200 or 300 miles away right now? And, from Moses Lake to Walla Walla or to Payne Field, as you've just said, those are routes that we will be able to do as the aircraft enters into service. So certainly the applications and the capability of the technology that goes into the aircraft will allow those routes to expand and only further improve our capability to transform regional air travel.
And I see my time has expired, Madam Chair, but your testimony references the fastest growing emission increase. Is that because of the global demand in aviation? Is that where you're getting that?
Yes, thank you for that. So absolutely, it's very important for us to recognize aviation in particular is a global business. It's well said that airplanes tend to get around. So again, this actually does present the commercial opportunity that we have to take the leadership role again in driving standardization of certification requirements. Right now, again, speaking for aviation, we truly feel that we are in a leadership position, that we are ahead of certifying and bringing an aircraft to market that can fulfill these mission roles. And so this is a global problem. Those emissions are global emissions and projections. No one country can do this on its own. It needs to be done by everybody. And so by working together and establishing common standards, it will remove barriers to bringing product to market, which will further our ability to impact positively change sooner.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Chair Cantwell. Senator Lee.